I'm going to go with Max. I think Max is,
Really?
obviously he's coming off a KO loss, which is something that's going to be a big factor. Not many people can bounce, we chatted about this, not many people can bounce back from a KO loss. But if there's only very few that can, I think Max is definitely one of them. I think you're just going to see even maybe, the same Max or even a more improved now that he's going to even be that little bit more calculated, because he can. He's tough. He's got like a lot of skills. But now to have even more of a calculated approach, I think he's going to be one tough man to beat.
The style matchup, I think Dustin wins the fight. Mm-hmm. But Max is not a pushover for anyone, so it's going to be a beautiful boxing match. Some of the best boxing, we're going to see inside the cage.
I think it's going to be a spectacular fight. I think Max Holloway is going to have his moments. I know Max Holloway is going to point at the ground, and I know that Dustin Poirier will oblige, because that's what he does. He wants to entertain in his final fight. He ain't going to bitch out in front of his hometown and say, nah, screw that. I'm sticking to the game plan. I'm going to stick and move. I'm going to use my jab. He's going to go, oh, Max Holloway does this? All right, well, let's do it, buddy. Let's go. Let's go out on our shields. Live by the sword, die by the sword. The arena's going to go absolutely mental. We're going to absolutely love it. Dustin Poirier will be the winner via decision. He will be in the Hall of Fame, and I just want to say congrats and thank you for handling yourself with class all these years and for being an absolute legend.
Dustin Poirier, it doesn't matter who he's fighting. He's always going in there for the kill. He's going in there to entertain. He's going to be fighting in his home state. This is his last hurrah. He knows it. Everybody else knows it. So I think we're going to get a Dustin Poirier, talk about passion, talk about urgency, who's going to have all of those things in this fight. What happens when those two things collide? I don't exactly know. But I am leaning the way of Max Holloway. I think Max Holloway comes back extremely strong after a loss. And not mentally, like we know that, but technically. I've been very impressed with the people that he surrounded himself with. I think his coaches are very, very smart. I think they're always looking for ways to improve, as is Max Holloway.
And man, Max Holloway's been fighting for some time. This kid was in here at 19, I believe. He was the youngest fighter on the UFC roster at one point. And I don't know, man. This is a tough one. It's hard to go 0-3 in a series, because it's like, bruh, how you go 0-3? You didn't learn anything from the other 3 times? So it's really hard. And from what we've been seeing from Max Holloway, Max has been looking really, really good from what he was able to do against, my dog, Justin Gaethje. I'm torn here. I love both guys, but if I had to pick, I hope we get an opportunity to have a conversation with Max Holloway. But I'm going to go with Dustin Poirier for this one.
Listen, man, I don't know if I can see this fight going any different than the first two, especially the last one that they had. It's going to be a slobber knocker. It's going to be a straight-up slobber knocker. I'm telling you that right now. But I think Dustin I just think he has a size on him. Even though Max is a good size 55er, Dustin is just a little bit more of a tank. And I think those punches, they just add up a little bit more than Max is. Unless Max is going to... I know he was back in the weight room and everything, but I think if he's not committing to his punches and really trying to put some damage on him, of course he's looking to hurt him, but Max is more of a volume guy than he is a power puncher, where Dustin is he's got that shabaka, man. Like, he touches your chin, he puts guys down. I feel like Dustin looks like the surer pick for me if I was a betting guy. I love both these guys. I'm a big fan of both of them, so I hate seeing either one of these guys lose. These guys, I've come up watching these guys in the game as I was coming up the game.
On paper, the second fight, Max outstruck Dustin by a decent amount on total strikes. Significant strikes were 181 to 178. So it was close. Dustin had a takedown.
It was just the power.
I think it was just the power. Yeah. So that's where, when you look at shit like this, it doesn't tell the story of the fight. Because I remember fucking Dustin beating the shit out of Max. And I was like, holy shit. He just has a lot more firepower. But I'm picking Dustin. unfortunate. It sucks that we're losing a star like Dustin, but he's like, yo, I'm only 35. He's like, that sounds young. He's like, but he's like, I have 40 fights. That's just MMA fights. That's so, yeah.
How do you see it getting done?
I think it'll probably play out like the first fight, kind of just on the feet. And I just think Dustin's going to just outwork him the entire time, and he possibly could sleep him.
For me, I think I'm gonna go with Holloway in this one. I think he's hungrier when you're down 0-2. I don't think he wants to lose another trilogy. I think he's gonna be ready for this one. I don't think that the crowd is gonna play a role in it for him. He's been in enemy territory before. I think it's gonna be a fun fight, a great fight. I think it's gonna be a war. Both these guys always bring it. I think it's gonna be, honestly, a boxing fight. I think Holloway's gonna be able to use his footwork, use his distance, use their reach, not get caught, and I think he's gonna end up eking out this victory.
Every single time you fight a world-class guy, doesn't matter if it's a number 1 guy or number 10 guy. If they're world-class and you know they're world-class, at any moment, if you're 1% less than them that night, you're going to lose.
That's right.
And BJ Penn used to say this all the time. I don't have to be better than you every single night in training or every single day in training. I just got to be better than you that one night. And Max Holloway's just got to be better than him this one night. And Dustin Poirier's just got to be better than him that one night. That's it. The rest is history. It's all being put in the back pocket. They both can come away with the win. I'm leaning Dustin. The energy, the crowd, and I don't want to see him go out on a loss, man.
I think Max Holloway. Personally, I just think Max Holloway, just because, you know, this is Dustin's last one and he's just kind of trying to ride off in the sunset. I always have mixed feelings about fights like that. So I don't know. Maybe he's going to have the best performance of his life, or maybe Max will pull it off. But for whatever reason, I get the feeling that it's going to be Max. And I don't have a, how would I put it, like a scientific reason for it, because normally I have my reasoning of why I think one person or the other, but for this one I just have a feeling that it's Max.
Max Holloway is still somewhat in his prime time of his career. Dustin Poirier has passed that. But what they're not taking into account, to me, that much is Max Holloway is a guy that was never knocked down in his career. And he just got knocked out very badly. Once that happens, I can tell you from experience, once you've been KO'd or TKO'd, your chin is never quite the same. And so how well does Max absorb those shots in this matchup, where he's always been able to absorb them? And we've known Max is just like not only two of the most likable guys, him and Dustin in the UFC, but guys that wear damage very well. And they don't really get buzzed or rocked, and they can continue. That's why they have these dog fights in there. How well does Max Holloway absorb shots after being not only knocked down, but knocked out? And how well does Poirier absorb these shots at this age in his career? But I would still lean towards Poirier and his toughness and his resiliency inside the octagon, more so than the younger Max.
I mean, I know we're in Louisiana, but I got Max Holloway winning this one. I love both guys. You know, Dustin Poirier is a legend, and if he wins, if he loses, it's not going to change anything about him as a man, as a person. He's done so much for the sport. He does a lot of good for the community. He gives back. He's got his foundation. He's going to do very well in life. But, you know, just as a fight itself, I mean, Dustin's got 2 wins over Max. I was there at all of them. I was actually training with Max when he got ready for the first fight, when he got his debut call at 4-0. And he fought Dustin Poirier and got triangle armbar there. And then I saw his fight in Atlanta. And I think he was still a little kind of too small. Not too small, but just didn't fill into the 55 weight class yet. It kind of got that came upon fast. But the way he looked against Gagey at 155, just filled out, put on a lot of muscle, looked great. And I always thought he was huge for featherweight. And right now he just looks good. He looks healthy. He's got a good mindset. So does, I mean, Dustin looks incredible too. And may the best man win.
Man, I think should be a even fight.
Pick him, straight pick him.
Pick him.
Yeah.
I think should be a pick him, because nobody knows what's going on, what's going to happen. I like Dustin for this fight because the last fight I know was a long time ago, but the boxing, you know, he was a little bit heavier. He was like used to that. But then you think about, and Max Holloway just knock out Gaethje, and then he did a very good job. Now that we see Ilia versus Charles, I think that aged very well the win over Max Holloway, because Max Holloway was connecting the hands, was doing good.
Yeah.
So I like Dustin on that fight, but it's not gonna be easy.
It's incredible to be on this card. To share Dustin's last card with him is incredible. Him and Max Holloway are both living legends of the sport, and it's going to be incredible to see his last dance.
How do you think it goes? Who do you think wins?
I think he stays 3-0. He's beat this guy twice already. I don't see any difference in this.
Dustin, last one, he goes out on top.
Yeah, I'm cheering for him.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's gonna win, but I'm cheering for him because for everything he has been doing for MMA and his city. I like the guy. Nothing against Max, but I'm with Dustin for this now.
If I had to put a prediction, I'm gonna go with Poirier. I think Poirier is gonna get the swan song, the ride off into the horizon. Fantastic career and all that, but yeah, I think he's gonna get it done. I think it's gonna be a brawl, and I think it'll be a decision. I think Holloway will take those shots, and his confidence will grow, and you'll see a fantastic fight. But yeah, I think Poirier's gonna win it.
But I just feel like with Dustin Poirier has a little bit more thump, and particularly because Max Holloway, obviously he did get rocked for that. It was back in October, I believe, where he got rocked. So, but he's been on a mission too, man. Yeah, dude. I think I can see potentially Max Holloway, bro, getting that W, man. Call me crazy.
Max's range management is so much better. His footwork is so much smoother at this point. It's like night and day fucking difference. And the way in which he built his body up to take some of those punches from Gaethje at 55. So I actually feel like Poirier, I'm not going to say he's on the downswing. Again, he looked good against BSD. He gave Islam, a pretty good fight, actually, in the end.
He looked quite good against
the
best fight any elite has
no doubt
given
about
him,
it. I don't think he's like flagging in some kind of way, but I don't think he's at his peak. To me, the story of what could go different here is, some stuff with Poirier, maybe. It's really Max is much bigger in the right way this time. Gonna take a leap of faith here. I'll say Max. I think Max will maybe right the ship this time.
I guess I'm taking the slight favorite of Max Holloway here. I didn't expect him to be a favorite, but I understand it and I agree with it. I'm going with Max Holloway getting this one done by decision. I'm going to say decision win for Max Holloway because he's not retiring after this one. That's a big deal. That's a huge factor when it comes to a prediction in this fight. Poirier is retiring after this fight. He's done.
I know it's going to be competitive. I would put money down that it's going the distance. That's where I stand right now. First, who wins? I don't know. I felt like it was going to be Max coming in. A lot of the pre-fight video banter, embedded countdown, I come out of there going, maybe it's, the same. Maybe Max is fighting the same kind of uphill battle against someone who's like him, but a little bit bigger, more power. I guess I got to lean Dustin by decision here.
You put it pretty well, though. They're both going to go out and fight. There's no question about that. I don't care where these guys are at in their career. They're gonna go out and fight, and I'm sure Dustin fighting in front of his hometown has got to be exciting as hell to go out on that. So, right, he did fight pretty. I'm going with Dustin Poirier in that.
Okay.
I love Holloway. I'm just doing that for the show. I don't really again.
Okay.
The MMA gods have been getting this right. Now, regardless of the outcome, no matter the outcome, we can always justify that it's the right solution. But I do think that best case scenario, Dustin Poirier does win this fight. It will be close. It will be extremely exciting. It will be back and forth, but I think Dustin Poirier edges this out in his hometown. Like I said, the MMA gods get it right sometimes. Yeah. They got it right with the Robbie Lawler, retirement fight. They're getting it right with this one.